Alright guys, in this quick video I'm going to show you how to graph a linear function. And remember, linear functions, one of the most popular form that we have is y equal m times x plus b. Okay, y equal mx plus b. The m is your slope and the b is your y-intercept. M is your slope, b is the y-intercept. The x is your input and the y is your output. So let's take a look at the equation I gave you guys from chapter 7 test. It was y equal, I think it was 1 minus 3 times x, and that was the equation we gave you. Okay, now even though it doesn't look like it's in the form of y equal mx plus b, but if I were to go and switch the rewrite this equation by changing the order of the 1 and the negative 3x. So I can also do that. I can go ahead and rewrite that as y equal negative. So the slope here is negative 3 times x plus 1. All right. Okay. Negative 3 times x plus 1. So the 1 is my y-intercept. The slope is going to be the negative 3. Okay, so now if you want, you can rewrite that in slope-intercept form. Alright, so there's quite a couple of different ways how to graph a linear function in slope-intercept form. But what we learned at the beginning was, well, first of all, before we do anything, we want to come up with a table value, so that way we have the input and the output. Okay, and then we can plot the order pairs on the coordinate plane. Okay, so the x is going to be my input and the y is going to be my output. Okay, I think I told you guys you only need 2 points to graph a line, but I always suggest you guys to come up with at least a minimum of 3 points. It's good to have maybe 4 points. Okay, all right, so we have 4 rows right there, so I'm going to come up with 4 different inputs. The best input that you always want to start it out with is the 0. Okay, and then we can go with 1, 2, 3. Or if you guys want, you can also go with negative. Alright, so when x equal to 0, negative 3 times 0, negative 3 times 0 is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. So my output is going to be 1. So the order pair is going to be 0, 1. That's the first order pair, which is my y-intercept. Right? Because when x equal to 0, y equal to 1. That's going to be that's the b term right there. Alright, when x equal to 1, negative 3 times 1 is negative 3, and negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. Okay, so when my input is 1, my output is negative 2. Let's go with the next one. The input is equal to 2. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6, and negative 6 plus 1 is negative 5. Alright, there you go. And then the last one, negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Okay, that will give you negative 9. Negative 9 plus 1 will give you negative 8. Okay, so now you have one order pair. You got 1 right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you got 4 order pairs right there. So let's go over here. Well, all my inputs can be positive and my outputs look like I have a negative. And I knew right away that as I'm looking at my equation, my function y equal negative 3x plus 1, the slope is negative 3, so the line's gonna go down. Okay, from left to right it goes down, left to right it goes down. So it's gonna look something like this. And I'm only going to go ahead and focus on my fourth quadrant, because the x is all positive and the y is only go up to 1 and all the way down to negative 8. So it's most likely we're going to draw a coordinate plane that would look like that. Okay. All right. From there, don't forget to always label your x and your y axis. Okay. The horizontal line is going to be my x-axis and the vertical line is going to be my y-axis. Alright, so I have 1, 2, and 3. That will be my x. input. That would be my input. My output is going to be positive 1, and then you have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, and negative 8. Well, I'm not going to go all the way down to negative 8. I think 3 points should be enough for me. So I'm going to use a point 0, 1, 1 comma negative 2, and then 2 comma negative 5. Okay, so we have 0 comma 1. 0 comma 1 is right on the y-axis. That is my y-intercept. That's my first point, 0 comma 1. Second point is 1 comma negative 2. Input is 1, output is negative 2. Okay, so you got right 1, down 2. That is my second point. That is 1 comma negative 2. My third point is 2 comma negative 5. 1, 2, go to the right 2 unit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down negative 5. So it's about right here. If you want, you can always plot the third point. It's going to be 3, negative 8. So it's like somewhere down here, like right down here. Okay. But anyways, I got all 3 points already. That should be more than enough for me to go ahead and connect these three dots, these 3 points to form my line. Okay, don't forget again to put the arrows on each end of the line right there, and make sure you label this line is y equal 1 minus 3x or negative 3x plus 1. And that was one of the questions from chapter 7 test that you guys were supposed to do, is to graph this linear function. Saw you guys, a lot of you guys left it for blank, so I just figured I'm just gonna go over this so that we can get this over with, okay guys? Because I promise you, the rest of the school year you're gonna see them again. You're gonna see graphing linear functions again, and you have to know how to come up with a table of values. And when you get to the high school level, same thing. That's what you're gonna be learning, but you're gonna dive deeper into linear functions and other types of functions in your algebra courses. All right. Now, if you remember for what you learned from chapter 5, you can also graph this function using the slope and the y-intercept. Now, remember we say the y-intercept is 0 comma 1. That's the y-intercept. And your slope is negative 3. Your slope is negative 3. Now, slope is negative 3 is the same thing with negative 3 over 1. And that's going to be rise over run. Okay, slope is rise over run. The definition of slope is rise over run. But since the slope is negative, so it means instead of going up, you're going to go down. So how many units you're going down? You're going to go down 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, down 3 and then over 1. Oh wow, it's right there. It's this point 1 comma negative 2. It's on the line that we had earlier. You can also go down 1, 2, 3, and then over 1. And it's also right on this point, which is 2 comma negative 5. And then again, right there, you can go ahead and connect all these 3 dots or these 3 points to form your line. And that is how we graph a linear function. All right, guys?